Bonjour. We will now start with lesson 9. In this chapter, we will learn about nationalities and we will recap the ER group of verbs once again. First, I will start by translating the comprehension. Où habites-tu? Where do you stay? J'habite à Paris. Je suis français. I stay in Paris. I am French. J'habite à Toronto. Je suis canadienne. I stay in Toronto. I am Canadian. Nous habitons à Pékin. Nous sommes chinois. We stay at Peking. We are Chinese. Nous habitons à Los Angeles. Nous sommes américains. We stay in Los Angeles. We are American. J'habite à Lyon. J'habite à Paris. J'habite à Grenoble. J'habite à Toulouse. I stay in Lyon. I stay in Paris. I stay in Grenoble. I stay in Toulouse. Now there's a small dialogue here. Paul. Bonjour. Je m'appelle Paul. Je suis français. Vous vous appelez comment? Bonjour. My name is Paul. I am French. What is your name? Anastasia. Bonjour, Paul. Je m'appelle Anastasia. Je suis grec. Quel âge avez-vous? Bonjour, Paul. My name is Anastasia. I am Greek. What is your age? Paul. J'ai 20 ans. J'habite à Lille. Et vous, vous habitez où? I am 20 years. I stay at Lille. And you, where do you stay? Anastasia. Excellent. J'habite à Crète, c'est une belle ville. Au revoir, enchanté. Anastasia. Excellent. I stay at Crète. It is a beautiful city. Goodbye. Pleased to meet you. Paul. Au revoir, Anastasia. Enchanté. Goodbye, Anastasia. Pleased to meet you. Now, if you notice in the dialogue, enchanté when Anastasia is saying is with an extra E, and when Paul is saying there is no extra E. That's because Anastasia is a girl and we will add an extra E to enchanté. Also, vous vous appelez comment also is a way of asking what is your name, or you can also ask comment vous appelez-vous. Both options are correct. Vous vous appelez comment or comment vous appelez-vous. We will now learn about the nationalities in French. Nationalities are also like adjectives in French. There is a masculine and a feminine form to it. Let's look at some examples. Jack is British, for example. Anglais. Jack is a boy. This is the masculine singular form. Now let's look at Jill. Jill is a girl. She is Anglaise with an E. You will make the nationality also feminine. Let's take one more example. Leo is Chinese. Chinois. But Mary is the girl, so we will add an E to chinois. This is the feminine singular. Now you remember the rule that we studied for nouns and adjectives. If the masculine singular form ends with an S, X or Z, it remains the same in its plural form. The same rule applies here. So let's assume there's another boy called Mark. So Jack and Mark, I want to say they are English. Jack et Mark sont anglais. But in this case, we will not add another S because anglais is already ending with an S. So this is the masculine singular. The masculine plural form will also be the same. Now let's look at Jill. Jill and Mary, for example, I want to say they are British. So Jill et Mary sont anglaises. Now there are two girls, feminine plural. So this is your feminine singular. This is not ending with an S, it's ending with an E. Feminine plural will be A-N-G-L-A-I-S E S. Let's look at Shenhua. Again, in its masculine singular form, it is ending with an S. So, if it was Leo and Theo, in the masculine plural form, it will remain exactly the same. For example, if it was Mary and Anastasia and they are Chinese, this is the feminine singular form. The feminine plural will be Chinioses because this is not ending with an S. Once again, I'll repeat. We make a nationality feminine by adding an E and we make it plural by adding an S. The same logic that we applied for adjectives. Now, if the masculine singular form already ends with an S, the plural will remain exactly the same. We will not add another S to it. So, anglais, anglais, anglaise, anglaise. So, the feminine one we will add an S because the feminine singular is ending with an E. Same logic applies with Shenhua. It's ending with an S in the masculine singular. The masculine plural remains the same. We will not add another S. The feminine singular ends with an E. We will add an S in the feminine plural form. Let's look at certain nationalities which are an exception to the rule. So, for example, India, which is Indian. This is the masculine singular form. The feminine singular is, we will double the last consonant, N-N-E. This is feminine singular. The masculine plural will be I-N-D-I-E-N-S. This is masculine plural. Feminine plural will add an S. I-N-D-I-E-N-N-E-S. Feminine plural. Let's look at Italia. Which is masculine singular. The feminine singular is N-N-E. The masculine plural we will add an S. And feminine one also we will add an S. Countries in French also have a gender. So, for example, in the textbook, if they've written La France, that means France is feminine, it is La. La Chine, that means China is feminine, it is La. If it is Le Canada, means Canada is masculine, it is written Le before that. So, generally you can take it, countries ending with an E are feminine. There are about 5 or 6 exceptions to this rule, but that we will study in Enchanté book number 4 in class 8. For now, it is sufficient for you to know that countries ending with an E are generally feminine and the gender of these countries is given in the textbook. Now, we will recap the ER group of verbs once again. So, let's take the verb habiter, which means to live or to stay. We will write the subject pronouns. We will cancel the ER. So, we are left with HABIT, but H is treated as a vowel in French. So, we will make this J apostrophe. We will copy it everywhere. Now if you remember the endings, for je it is e, tu, es, il, e, l, e, nu, ons, vous, ez, il, ent, l, ent. J'habite, tu habites, il habite, elle habite, nous habitons, vous habitez, ils habitent, elles habitent. Let's look at a few examples. So if the sentence is, you are French, does this tell you about the gender of tu, whether this tu is masculine or feminine? Yes, it does. Because français is without an e, that means this is masculine singular, that means this tu is a male. If it was française like this, that means this tu, this you you're talking about is a female. Similarly, let's look at another example. Nous sommes and that means either this nu, this we is all masculine or it is mixed gender. Now for example, instead of this INDIENS, if it was INDIENNES, that means this group of we, this nu is all feminine. If we were to take one more example, you are Japanese. That means this you is masculine singular. But if this japonais had an e, japonaise, that means this is a feminine singular form. So please look at what is given in the sentence. Sometimes looking at the nationality also, it will give you a clue whether the subject pronoun or the noun that you're talking about is masculine or feminine. Of course, there are instances where the masculine and the feminine form are the same. At that time, it does not give a cue, but otherwise it can. So please start noticing these things in your exercises and in your comprehensions. Now let us do some examples on masculine and feminine and plural. So for example, you have to make these sentences feminine. So let's say the sentence is tu es espagnol. You are Spanish. How will we make this feminine? Tu es remains as it is. Espagnol would be with a e. That's it. Let's say another example. Il est japonais. How will we make this feminine? Il will become L. A remains the same because the conjugation of être with L is also the same, and japonais will be with an E. If the sentence was nous sommes Chinois, we are Chinese. If we have to make this feminine, nous sommes will remain the same. And this we'll have to change it into feminine plural. This is with nous. So this is the masculine plural form. So Chinois with an E and an S. If we were to take one more example, je suis français. I am French. The feminine form will be je suis français with an E. So française. Now let's take some plural examples. So for example, Je suis indien. Je will become nous. The conjugation of être with nous is som and indien with an s. Now, for example, this je suis was feminine. Je suis indienne. So, in this case, it would be like this. Il est chinois. He is Chinese. We have to make this plural. Il will become ILS. The corresponding conjugation for ILS is son. And chinois will remain as it is, because in the masculine singular form it is ending with an S. The plural will remain the same. One more example. Elle est français. This will become ELLES. A will be son, the corresponding conjugation with L, français with a S. So, this is the instances for making it plural. Let's look at certain examples where we now have to make it from feminine to masculine. So, let's say the example is Elle est espagnole. So, how will we make it masculine? Elle will become il, est espagnole without the E. Let's take another example. Nous sommes Indian. We are Indian. Now this we is all feminine. If I have to make it masculine, nous sommes INDIENS. If I have to take one more example, elles sont chinois. They are Chinese. Chinoise. I have to make it masculine. ELLES will become ILS. Sont will be the same. And chinois will be like this. Let's look at an instance where they've given us a plural sentence and we have to make it singular. So, for example, ils sont indiens. How will I make it singular? ILS will become IL. The corresponding conjugation is EST. And this will be without the S. For example, elles sont japonaises. If I have to make this singular, ELLES will become ELLE, sont will become EST, il est japonaise without the S. Let's look at one more example. Nous sommes françaises. Now, look at the spelling of française. This is ES. That means this is feminine plural. So, when I have to make it singular, I will make this feminine singular. So, nous will become je suis française. Let's look at one last example. Vous êtes American. You are American. This is again ES. That means this is feminine plural. We will have to make it singular in feminine singular. So, tu es American. This is now a list of all the nationalities and the countries in French. This is what you are expected to know ideally in class 5. So the first column is the name of the country in English, followed by the name of the country in French, masculine singular nationality, feminine singular nationality, masculine plural, and then feminine plural. Where le is written in front of the country, that means that country is masculine, and if la is written, that means the country is feminine. In case of L apostrophe, if the country is ending with an E, that particular country is feminine in nature, and only in case of United States, it is plural, which is les Etats Unis. There's an exercise which has been given in the textbook in lesson 9, which says read the text and answer the question. Lisez le texte et répondez aux questions. I will just translate the text for you. Bonjour, je m'appelle Richard. My name is Richard. Je suis français. I am French. J'ai une amie chinoise. I have a Chinese friend. Now notice the spelling of amie. It is une amie. That means it's a female friend. Une amie. And because it's a female friend, the spelling of chinois is chinoise with an E. So please notice these small things. It will help you in your comprehension. Elle s'appelle Yoko. Her name is Yoko. Elle est belle. She is beautiful. Elle est aussi intelligente. She is also intelligent. Elle habite en Chine. She stays in China. Elle a un ami allemand. She has a German friend. So, for example, if we look at the spelling of ami here, it is un ami. So that means it's a male friend. Allemand is German. It is without an E. So this is a masculine friend. If it was a feminine friend, then it would have been une amie allemande with an E. His name is Peter. Il s'appelle Peter. Il est grand et gentil. He is tall and nice. So this finishes our lesson 9. Thank you.